Hello YouTube, and I am back. So now I'm going to look forward to the future, to the RTD era. And when I say this, I mean stuff that's going to happen after the anniversary specials. When we get started proper on Shooty from then on. What I would want, what I would like to expect. Once again, I'm not going to put any pressure or anything. I'm not going to really have my expectations too high with these requests. But here's what I would like to happen. Will this stuff happen? Probably a good amount, but not really. Who knows? But, I feel like the bar is low. So I feel like I should be asking for more, and I shouldn't feel guilty for asking for the stuff. So here's what I want. So since Shooty is going to be the first Black leading doctor, we had Jo Martin, but she was just kind of a supporting character, a recurring character in Jodie's era. But now that we do have a Black doctor who is going to be the lead of the show proper for multiple seasons and multiple episodes, I would like for some writers to be Black, more than one writer. Once again, I'm not sure how Russell's going to do it. His writing team maybe is going to do the same thing like he did when he was first show running. It's not going to be like a writer's room like Chris Chibnall did. Maybe they're going to go back to the old ways. I have no idea how he's going to structure it. Maybe the same way that he did before. But I would like to have some writers of color, some Black writers, especially when it comes to some of the historical stuff. Because we know what happened, with Martha when they went back to Shakespeare, and the doctor say, just walk around like you own the place, and it was no. And when I reference stuff from the previous era of RTD, I will put that in like that. It was of that time. That was the early 2000s. That was a long time ago. We're in a brand new era of TV. And it seems like Russell has moved and grown from that, like everybody else has in the world. So I feel like it's a large task. Some Black writers to complement. I'm not sure who's going to be the companion or companions to his doctor, but that shouldn't matter. He is still a Black man, so that has to inform his sensibilities as a doctor. This is the first time well, no, it's not, because we know at the time was children and everything. So anyway, we have to address that. Also, I think we're still going to get historical episodes, of course. And also, I would like the Christmas specials to be back. I think they are going to do those. I have missed those. I've liked the New Year specials, but there's something just about Christmas and Doctor Who every year that I've gotten used to time after time. I would love those back. And in my opinion, no more hiatuses. No more year off hiatuses after a season. I am tired of that. I'm not sure if it's a BBC thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the crew. They have to. I know the show is a lot of work on the crew and actors. I understand that. I wholeheartedly understand that. But, through these past few years, even before Chibnall and everything, these hiatuses have really kind of, I think, hurt the show ratings-wise, which is why you've seen the ratings go down so much in recent time, because they'll be on one year and off one year, and then they'll come back, and people don't know when they come back. It's just really, and, with me, I get really impatient when Doctor Who is not on, so I would hope after the first season of Shooty's season that we do get, next year, Doctor Who will be back in, whatever next year is, and we'll have either 3 consecutive seasons of Shooty or 4 consecutive, like year after year, like you usually make TV, because these hiatuses between seasons is really not it, in my opinion. I'm just getting really tired of having a year off or months in between episodes. I won't count this one considering we're in the middle of a transition when it comes to the show and, them filming the episodes. But once Shooty starts and once they really start on his Doctor Proper, I want consecutive Doctor Who episodes, seasons, year after year after year after year. I'm just tired of it, personally. So there's that. Anything else? There's a recent article that came out in the new Doctor Who magazine about, the decision to have David Tennant regenerate into his old costume versus Jodie Whittaker's. We were thinking like, oh, maybe something messed up with the generation and oh my God, what's happening? But it wasn't that. It was just that Russell felt that he did not want David Tennant to be in Jodie Whittaker's clothes because certain UK newspapers would make fun of it. Even though I could understand where he's coming from, considering the situation going on in the UK when it comes to, trans and non-binary people and how they have hate groups over there. Still, that doesn't make sense because the costume that Jodie was wearing in particular, it could be worn by anybody. In the same episode you had, Sasha wear it. They wore the same outfits. The one with the mishmash of the doctors and, they had Sasha wear Jodie's outfit. It was easy. Jodie wore Peter Capaldi's outfit throughout, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. And at the end of the episode, you see the doctor go into a thrift store and put on an amalgamation of clothes. And she's like, oh, this is it. It wasn't anything overtly feminine or anything about the show. Maybe how the shirt is cut. But other than that, it's just clothes. And, it really saddened a lot of fans of Doctor Who on how it was worded, on what that meant. And, there's a big discourse on it on social media. You can look it up. But my feelings are I hope that this was just an isolated incident. And I'm hoping that RTD and the Bad Wolf Studios or whomever is able to push the show even further diversity-wise. When Chris Chibnall took over and people were so angry about Jodie being the doctor and her daring to have two companions of color, people were saying oh, Doctor Who has gone PC gone mad, even though Doctor Who has already had queer characters and characters of color in the new show. But okay, for this one, I want him to go even further. I don't want him to go backwards. I don't want him to appease those people who are being overtly misogynistic and overtly racist when it came to the doctor and when it came to the companions. I want him to push the show even further. That's why I said more writers of color, LGBTQ writers, everything he has his own studio now. It's not just a BBC. It's, Bad Wolf is in there. He has his own people on it. And I feel like, he's built up this reputation over the years and he's really excelled and, This Is a Sin and with, years and years and has really built a lot of clout. So hopefully that clout will have him really take charge and his Batwell Studio take charge and really push the show even more further than it has already been. That's what I want from the show. I want somebody to push it. That's why personally, when it came to the next showrunner before RTD was announced, I was hoping it'd be somebody different who didn't come from the RTD camp because both Moffat and Chibnall wrote under RTD when he first took over. And I was hoping for a different voice, a female voice, particularly a female showrunner of color, somebody who didn't already write for the show under either showrunner. So, when it comes to now that we have RTD, hopefully he does bring in some new writers. Once again, I will say writers of color, gender identity, sexuality, whomever, to come in and write for the show and have their cake and eat it too. The same thing with directing, costuming, hair, whatever, in all departments. That's my main thing when it comes to that. So, yeah, those are my hopes and kind of, I won't say requests, but hopes. And I don't expect it to be all that happened in the first season. Like, I want it to be an ongoing thing, season after season. Even when it becomes past Russell, I want the show to be pushed forward and be the trailblazing for diversity, specifically when it comes to genre television and sci-fi. So yeah, those are my wishes. Those are what I kind of want for the new era of Doctor Who, the new RTD. Once again, I hope that whole costume thing was just an isolated incident and that won't inform how he'll handle the show. And like I said, push the show forward. So bye, YouTube.